Mr. Geesman.
Thank you, Your Honor. In our pre-hearing conference statement, as well as in our protest, we identified 4 issues that we were interested in pursuing in the proceeding. Edison and San Diego agreed that 3 of those were in scope in their judgment. I want to note at the outset that the 4th issue, an issue that they had both agreed were in scope, was the joint application's attempted resuscitation of a light-handed approach to reasonableness reviews during the meet and confer session. We agreed with Kern's suggestion that issue could best be handled in Edison's motion for reconsideration of the Commission's decision in the last triennial proceeding. So depending on how that question is determined, we may only have 3 issues that we have suggested for your consideration. The issue that Mr. Matthews argues is out of scope is our desire to pursue the reasonableness of SCE's avowed intent to weaken the cleanup standard required by the song's easement granted by the Navy. And the sole grounds for Edison's belief that that question is out of scope is their view that it constitutes an impermissible collateral attack on the decision the Commission made in the 2009 NDCTP. I believe that was decision 10-07-047. I don't think Mr. Matthews is reading that decision correctly. There are only 2 places in it that mention this question of the Navy easement at songs. One is conclusion of law number 24, and it says prior to the development of the song's cost estimates for the next NDCTP, and that would have been the 2012 NDCTP, the Commission, along with other state agencies and officials and with SCE and SDG&E, should formally ask the United States Department of the Navy to clarify the applicable site restoration remediation standards that will be required to terminate the song's lease, and 2, execute a document with SCE and SDG&E that explicitly reflects such clarified standards. Apparently there was some ambiguity as to what the standards were. The Commission made a conclusion of law suggesting that it should be clarified. Didn't say it should be weakened, said it should be clarified. So the order, paragraph 10, addressing the same issue, says within 1 year of the date of this decision, the Commission's executive director, that's who it was directing its order to, on behalf of the entire California Public Utilities Commission, shall make a formal written request, along with Southern California Edison Company and San Diego Gas and Electric Company, to the United States Department of the Navy to clarify the applicable site restoration remediation standards that will be required to terminate the San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station site lease, and shall meet and confer with the United States Department of the Navy to attempt execution of an amended site lease contract that explicitly reflects such clarified standards prior to the development of the San Onofre Generating Station cost estimates for the next NDCTP. Your Honor, the Alliance does not contest or challenge or seek to reverse any aspect of that order, nor does it question the conclusion of law on which the order is based.
So, Mr. Geesman, I'm starting. So is your point that the decommissioning cost estimate should be higher for the Navy site? Is that
my point is that Edison has announced they've already collected enough money to meet the standards required by the Navy easement, and that it would be unreasonable now to allow them to weaken that cleanup standard. Neither Commissioner Florio nor any of his colleagues were members of this commission when the 2010 decision was adopted. They ought to be given the opportunity to judge whether or not it is reasonable for the state of California to sanction weakening the cleanup standards required in the current Navy lease.
So there should be no cost estimate reduction. Is that the point?
That's the point of my client's perspective.
Okay.
We do believe this issue is clearly within scope.
Okay. That's your second issue. What is your third?
The other two, I believe they have both agreed are in scope. One is the reasonableness of the joint application's estimate of the length of time spent nuclear fuel will remain at the Song site. And the other is that because of the significance of the spent nuclear fuel storage assumption, the reasonableness of the joint application's request to reduce annual contributions to the trust.
All right. And what is your client's position on the schedule?
We will comply with any schedule agreeable to the parties.
Okay. Sounds great.